I'm Basia Sokolowska, and I am taking you through my creative environment, following the alphabetical order of the glossary of terms of my art practice. Today is A for archives, a very challenging topic, not in a sense that archives are a bad thing. In fact, in the last couple of decades, archives became a very sexy and fashionable trend in art, with a lot of artists directing their attention towards other artists' archives or institutions' archives or any collections of cultural material, which then became basis for their own practice. But this is not what I'm going to talk about. What I like to talk about is my own archives, the archives of my own creativity, the debris of my own creative path, which is quite convoluted, which requires a lot of experimenting, trial and error, thinking, writing, photographing, rephotographing, and so on. And all this leaves behind a lot of kind of creative debris, such as can be seen in these boxes. So there are negatives and slides and black and white prints and notebooks and sketchbooks and some kind of funny project books that never evolve into anything else, and little mock-ups of books, like this little mock-up of Anna Atkins inspired Atlas of Botanical drawings that I made. So all these things are left behind, and they require a certain strategy to deal with it. Of course, the most tempting strategy is to dispose of all this, because it creates certain clutter, and it grows and it expands, and keeping a creative space clean and tidy and spacious really appeals to me as a minimalist. I kind of try to avoid clutter. I worship space. So growing matter is my personal enemy. On the other hand, I found that sometimes something comes to my mind, something that I did or photographed many years ago, and I like going back to it and looking at it. And quite often, looking through my contact prints of black and white photographs, I find a frame which I find really exciting or fresh, and a new idea comes into my head, or just a memory, and it seems a very kind of pleasant and inspiring moment sometimes. So I don't dispose of my archives. What I do, I organize them, because creativity, and this is actually a challenge, because creativity as such is a mess. It's a process which is wild, open, allowing everything and anything, and it should stay that way, because creativity is this adventure into unknown. So we cannot kind of try to pigeonhole it or organize it too early, but we have to organize. I have to organize what's left behind, because if I organize it, I can access it more easily and directly if I want to. I don't want to become the main focus of my creative environment and my space, so I try to put it away so I don't have to have it in front of me all the time. And then there is a question of editing the archive, because all archives are subject to editing. Now, a lot of old masters' paintings come to us without the archives, or any work, any attempts to make it. And that's kind of makes it so pure and final and finished and accomplished. even though we know it wasn't like that at the time, probably. But then again, I find if you edit your archives too much, then you don't allow yourself the opportunity to discover something you didn't think it was good 10 years ago and now it's good now. Archives are like soil, they work with time, and because we change in time and we look at them, we look at things that we did with a different in a different way, with a different perspective. So that's why I allow certain things which I don't think very highly of, and I don't think I'll ever exhibit them or show them, or might perhaps not look again. I allow them to sit there because in some ways, who am I to decide what the future will think and what the future will like and what in the future will be considered important or interesting? Might be something which is there, something that um, I will never like or look at.